Story, and I'm here to talk on behalf of ValueBid. Here we have our individuals. We have Arnav Chabra and Hussein Hassan and Alon. And here today we're going to be talking about a situation that I want an iPod, right? Because I got $50 for my birthday, and I want to go buy an iPod. I can't afford an iPod at Best Buy because it's $200. So what do I want to do? I want to go bid on the iPod at places like eBay, Ubid, eBid, Overstock, WeBiz. But hey, there's a chance I might end up with no iPod because I'm going to lose a bid because my $50 isn't enough. But there's also a chance that I'm going to bid on a couple of auctions. I'm going to win a couple of iPods, and there's no way for me to pay for a couple of iPods because I only got $50. So therein lies a situation where I'm either going to have nothing or a cartload of stuff that I don't need. So I'm in this roundabout circle where I have a situation of analyzing the market. Should I sit there Thursday night and buy the iPod, bid on this time? Should I bid on a couple of iPods? I'm sitting there frustrated, wondering, struggling to decide, should I take the risk of going to buy multiple items, bid on them? Or should I bid on just one, be patient, maybe at the end of the month I might get lucky and win an auction? So we come to a situation where we have a solution for this. ValueBid provides a technology for bidding on multiple items with multiple winners, with multiple items being listed, so you have the chance of bidding on multiple iPods, and you're only going to win one at the end of the day based on which iPods you bid on. And this technology works off this engine that we're working on.
So the market potential for the U.S. auction market is about $270 billion, about $268 billion. The online auction market is about $8 to $10 billion.
Now, Alon and I are actually going to show you a demo.
So this is our website. It's fresh out of the oven. Barely got a chance to get it to work. So the idea here is we're focusing on clothing and electronics. And this will be an example of our bidding site. You choose which category you want to go into, and you would have these lists of different auctions that you could participate in. So this is the electronics section. I could participate in the bid for these smartphones up here or these iPods down here. These are like items that we would automatically aggregate for the sellers into these groups, and the users would choose a group, and here they would be allowed to put in their value for each item.
I'd like to point out that in addition to offering this technology that actually helps you bid on multiple items and actually end up with one, we're also trying to aggregate all the deals from different websites. So we're actually offering two different services here.
Okay, so as an example, here I am bidding for monitors, and I've had all these choices, and they each start with an initial price. Right now, nobody has bid over the initial price. So I'm going to come in as user 98, and I'm going to bid, how much is this Panasonic worth to me? So this Panasonic, let's say, is worth just $100 over its initial price. But this Samsung, I really like this Samsung. So I'm going to go ahead and bid $500 over the initial price. And for this here Vizio, I don't really like it too much, so I'm just going to not bid on that one. So I submit the bids, and, well, what's supposed to happen is I would end up only bidding on it's like it automatically decides which one to bid for me, but it retains the information that I bid on other ones, that I've set my value for other ones at the same time. So what would happen in this situation would be that I would end up bidding only on the second monitor, since that is the one I value the most, right?
And the value in this case, you can actually calculate by the current price and what you actually value at. So you subtract 6,500 from 6,000, and you get $500, which is more than the value that you have for Panasonic, which would be $100 in this case.
Exactly.
here, and the two specific markets are clothing and electronics. We picked these two to start because we are looking for, we think our target market is going to be comparison shoppers for this type of engine. In the electronic space, we're really looking at tech enthusiasts. So they're males, they're 18 to 49 years old. They like to spend a lot of money on electronics, so we're thinking 45K and up. And then we're also looking at females. In the clothing market, we're focusing on females, they're bargain shoppers. They love getting online, looking for the best deal that they can possibly get. They're 18 to 49 as well. Their income level is above $35,000, and they're really trendy.
So for the business model, we will be using the beta and hook model for the revenue stream. We will not have a listing fee like eBay and the others do. So to list and to sell an item, there would be no charge, although we will be charging a 5% commission for payment processing. As far as strategy, initially we will be an auction e-commerce website, and using Amazon as an analog, we will convert our platform and sell it to auctioneers in the long run. I believe we will start the development for the platform that we can sell to auctioneers in year 3, and we will start selling it in year 4. The marketing strategy that we have are pretty simple. It's social media, networking, and through referrals. We've got a great management team with about 20 years of experience. We've got technology commercialization experience, together with sales and marketing and project management experience. As far as for financials, the first year will be spent on development. Second year will be a productive year with the 5th year ending in about 40 million in revenue. We will be cash flow positive in approximately about year 3. The founders will invest about $50,000 initially, and we are looking for 1.2 million in investment, possibly in year 2. Any questions? Yes, sir.
So I think it's going to be really tough to, it sounds like you're actually going to try to create a liquid auction marketplace, marketing to both sellers and buyers yourselves.
Yes.
I think it's going to be really, really challenging. I do like the idea of the tools that you've got in place. I think there's a real problem for, managing, bidding on similar items. But I think it's going to be really, really challenging to compete with eBay and Amazon there. In fact, eBay used to have a tool that allowed you to basically pick, new condition items, and it would automatically, you'd set one price and it would automatically bid up to that price on sequentially closing auctions. And I loved it. I used it a number of times, and then they shelved the product. They just closed it down, and the reason was that it didn't get a lot of adoption because it was hard to use.
Okay.
So I think ease of use is going to be a big challenge on the product side, and then just from a business model standpoint, I think the combination of trying to enforce kind of a new buying model in addition to actually building a marketplace is going to be pretty daunting.
One of the things that we didn't get a chance to mention, it was one of the previous slides that we accidentally skipped, that we have, we're licensing a UT Austin technology that is the underlying engine that has the computational algorithms to compute the multiple bids that are happening at the same time in real time, which is going to be the back end of this technology. So, yes, sir.
So is it possible to layer that technology on top of an existing marketplace like eBay, like he's suggesting, provide that tool rather than having to go out and kind of build a brand to get buyers and sellers together?
We've thought about basically aggregating from multiple sites, eBay, Ubid, and Overstock, and others. That's a possible avenue that we have that we're thinking about.
You could even consider starting that way, and then as people get to know your brand, then start accepting sellers into your own separate silo. I always am a fan of businesses that launch kind of embracing some or building on top of some existing well-known ecosystem.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, we talked before. I mean, I think that you guys got to get clear that it's a technology sell. It's kind of we talked about this as a hammer looking for a nail, and so I think you got to decide. I think it's going to be hard to push a brand forward like this unless you can, you know, some way get the where you don't have to partner with these guys, somehow scrape them, and I think that's tough to do. I've figured that out. So I think it's a technology sell, so I'd focus. I mean, that seems to me I'd focus
Right, we
on
understood that, but again, to prove ourselves, that's what we said, we would start with this. We didn't necessarily have to get big, but once we proved ourselves that and showed that the technology works, then switch to selling the platform to the auctioneers.
Okay.
And that was our strategy.
Okay.
I think I think this is like I'm the kind of person that would use a tool like this bidding on stuff, but I'm really weird, and I worry kind of like I think Matt was saying that it might just be this really seems like a power user type thing. So I'd be thinking about like rather than how do we make this go really broad, how can you make it, you know, there definitely are groups of people that buy a lot of stuff through auction and do this really frequently and are power users. How can you really tailor it to them and, you know, potentially really extract the money from them because they see it as something they're doing very regularly and it's worth paying for a tool to, you know, to help manage the things that they're buying.
Okay. I thought I heard originally that part of the idea was to take big lots of stuff that existed and put that out, so you solve the problem of aggregating all the products and perhaps taking stuff out of the government. Did you consider that besides that wouldn't work, or?
Well, there were a number of markets that we targeted at first. I mean, real estate was one of them. The other, we also talked to antique auctioneers. We did not get a chance to talk to the government auctioneers over the weekend just because they weren't available. So therefore, they're not up here right now.
That's all we have time for. Thank you. All right, thank you, Value Bid. Next up, we've got a